Right, so in this presentation, we'll discuss the different routes that you can take to consultancy. So all roads do not lead to Rome. It's important to have a plan, or you can find yourself stuck quite easily in a dead-end non-training job. So what I want everyone to do is to seriously plan for the road ahead, and it can be accomplished via training and non-training routes, but I want you all to really sort of work out what your end goal is and work out your plan of attack and the route that you're wanting to take to get to consultant. So, what are the different routes? You can join a UK specialty training program. So these are either run through uh, training programs that start as ST1 or ST3 applications, and these may be easier if you have previously done foundation or core training because you're already integrated within the system and you can transition from one training program to the next training program easier. The other one is the CESR route, and the work experience for that doesn't have to be done abroad. It can be done in the UK, but this is essentially the either training abroad or the UK non-training route to becoming a consultant. So in terms of the pros and cons, the pros of a training route is that you're essentially guaranteed CCT after you get in, as long as you pass your exams and you meet your ARCP requirements. So after you've started the training program, it's much more under control. It's 1 year after the other. It's a lot less stressful because you know that as long as you're meeting all the requirements, you're guaranteed a place as a consultant. Another thing that's good is you get supervisor and deanery support. You get access to portfolios and logbooks, etc. And finally, you'll be treated equally with all the local graduates. And so you don't really feel like you're fighting an uphill battle. The cons, especially for some of the more competitive specialties, it can be quite difficult to get a training number. But I think anyone with the right preparation and with the right amount of effort, you can absolutely get the training number that you want. In terms of the CESR route, the pros and cons. Pros, I think if you're already a consultant or close to consultancy, this route will save you a lot of time, and there's no competitive application process there. The cons of this is the risk of finding yourself trapped in a non-training job if you come to the UK and you're trying to essentially meet all the requirements on your own. The onus will be on you to work out exactly what evidence you need to provide, and then outside of your clinical duties, also put in all this effort to meet all of these requirements. And another issue is that non-training posts, you tend to be seen as this person's non-training, therefore he's here just for service provision, and you're unlikely to get consistent senior support. Obviously, some people will be very lucky in terms of who their seniors are, and some consultants are very good and they treat all juniors the same. Um, in some places, you won't be as lucky, especially if the hospital is quite busy inherently. And another issue is that it might take you longer to become a consultant compared to training. So I think the CESR route is good if you're applying from abroad and you're already quite senior. So you're either a consultant or very close to consultancy. You can either come and apply for CESR straight away, or if you still need to meet a few requirements, especially for some of the longer training programs, if you've got 1 or 2 years left in terms of evidence needed, and it's like an 8 year training program, it doesn't make sense to start all the way from the beginning. It's probably worth going by the CESR route. Otherwise, I'd recommend for the vast majority of the more junior clinicians to start in a training program as soon as they can. Um, in terms of the differences between CCT and CESR, for the vast majority of people, UK training will be a better route, like I said. It saves time even if it takes a few years to get a training number compared to attempting CESR on your own in the UK. And CESR is only advisable if you are already at a consultant or near consultant level, which is just reiterating. So how to get into training, as it is specialty specific, we are planning to make a series of courses specifically designed for these specialties. So let us know which specialties you're most interested in and we can start working on those first. But generally, what you need to do is find out what your interview process entails. So a lot of the interviews are different. Some will have MSRA, some will not. Some will be based primarily on your portfolio. Some will be based more on clinical scenarios that happen on the interview day. Another thing that you need to do is get exposure to the specialty and know what the buzzwords are. So, for example, in radiology, if you come in saying stuff like, artificial intelligence, skills mix, all of these different buzzwords that you only really pick up by being in the departments, you look much better than if you don't know what the buzzwords are. Uh, in terms of your preparation, it's always better to start early. So work on getting your portfolio ready early and make sure you know the important dates. You don't want to miss an application and end up having to reapply next year over something as simple as, not setting reminders on your phone and not knowing when the dates are. Okay, so hopefully this was useful and we'll see you on the next one.